they met at the group, right? So I'm thinking maybe they were not at ease or didn't want to contradict or anything.
But Rudy and Chimène knew each other. You could see Yeah, did you see how Chimène handed her Coca-Cola bottle and he was holding it for her? Then I realized, maybe they know each other, you know? I think they know each other. They came in the same car,
yeah.
You know? And then, because I've done focus group with people who know each other before, and you kind of get the same kind of story, you know? Sometimes I find it's not as rich because it's always the same story. I do the same. Yes, me too, because we do it together. So it's the same story. Because I noticed it with there was 2 one-to-one interviews where there are 2 friends who know each other. It's Donovan and I can't remember the other one's name. The other one he came on the 17th, so yesterday. So they know each other, and you could see it's pretty much the same pattern and then the same story. It was not anything new, you know. So so that's why I think having people of the same network is not the same story. And then Fabrice came with his sister came yesterday, and it was like I already knew the sister, but through Fabrice, because Fabrice already told me about his sister and how she started to use drug and how he injects with his sister. So basically the sister said the same thing, you know. So I didn't get any new information. But I can see the pattern where there were some people who inject with their partners and no one else, you know, just in their kind of close-knit kind of network.
That's why I'm
for example, Marianne and Mary Jane. And I think that would be interesting, in fact, to have Marianne, but alone, because then Marianne will be able to I would have been able to ask more questions, like, what if your husband goes to prison? How do you do then? Because you always depend on him for syringe, for drugs, you know, these kind of things. So, I don't know, I feel like for this project, focus groups are not that rich, yeah, because you lose all these elements which are more interesting about their private life, their interaction with other people, which they won't be able to, like, express, or won't be able to dig, because I don't have time, because I can't focus just on one people. We need to ask more, like, general questions. So I don't think it's that useful, because in the focus group it's limited, whereas I realized the interesting thing is like the background about the person, especially that if we're interested in their network. When they're in group, I can't explore this with them. I can't go deeper, because you really need to dig and probe, you know, to really find out who was a real role, because they're quite limited in the way they answer, so you really need to dig. Some people like Anastasia or Vanessa, we had where they were like talking. You could say that they were like very intelligent you know, like they are intelligent, you know, the way they talk, but some people you can see that it's very limiting, the answer that they give, so you have to ask all the time, like probe all the time.
I'm thinking what you're getting from the interviews, the individual interviews are super interesting, and that's why I think we might have to have one-to-ones with Ted and Reynolds on how they recruited. Do all these guys know each other, and what do you know about all these guys? Because we're gonna miss this by just listening to the recordings. So I'm thinking, instead of doing the focus groups, we might focus on the researcher each time and ask, okay, what do you know about this network? Do they know each other? How did you recruit them, and did they know each other? What's the link? Because as you're saying, you know, you interviewed one guy and then he's bringing his sister the next day, so you get his story, her story, and then you know the link because you're the researcher, right? So I'm thinking it'd be good to have that kind of information from Reynolds and Ted, because I'm sure when they recruited, I'm sure some of them know each other, or they're in the same area, they live in the same street or whatever, and we might link.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting too. That's a good thing. Maybe I can do like an interview with Ted and
Reynolds.
And Reynolds. Yeah, and we work on a set of questions that we want, questions that we want to understand better, whether their participants were linked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can have like the list of names who they interviewed, and we can just ask them, what about this one and this one? And you did, I don't know, those 3 in the same week. How did you recruit them? Because we're also really interested into how they recruited, right? We're missing it a bit because of the drama we had with Jean-Paul and Michael and then Roselda, because Roselda was doing the work for them. But I'm sure for the 2 others we can try and dig a bit on how they recruited, how easy it was, what did they tell them, what was their interest in the study, how much, did they say right away they were going to get 500 or not? Are they using their own friends network? Are they using just people they've met in the street? Like we had Vanessa in the first week. He just said, I don't really know her, but I just kind of see her in the street. We say hi to each other, but that's it. Like this kind of information would be good to have. Yeah. Is there...
So this morning, when I was doing the interview, when I was doing the interview, this girl called Mary Jane who participated yesterday, and she came. She was calling Madame, she was calling out. And I don't know whether she was calling me or she was calling Roselda, but I felt that she was calling me. Because as soon as I arrived, she started calling Madame when Roselda lives here, you know. So I thought that she was really calling me, and if she needed Roselda, she would have contacted Roselda earlier. And then Roselda went to see, and Roselda told me that Jean-Paul stole her money. I was like, what? And then she's like, yes, maybe she gave Jean-Paul her money to go and buy her fix. And then Jean-Paul
never came back.
Went with her money and never came back. And then Roselda told me that she gave Mary Jane 500 rupees.
To compensate for her...
To compensate for her loss. Yeah. And I was shocked, because for me, we gave them the money, and whatever happened outside of the research, we don't have to get into it, and Roselda felt a bit guilty. And also Roselda felt that Mary Jane was saying that, oh, what kind of people you sent, what kind of people you made me interact with, they stole my money and went away. But I think that, honestly, Mary Jane is a bit responsible for it, because Mary Jane, in her interview, she told me that she doesn't trust anyone in buying. I don't understand why she gave the money to Jean-Paul. She has her brother. Usually it's her brother who will go and buys her fix for her. I don't know why she gave her money to Jean-Paul for Jean-Paul to go and buy him when she knows that she can't trust him,
I think Jean-Paul is quite good at manipulating people, though. I think, we've seen him at work, let's say. I think he's really good at
saying yes ma'am, don't worry, yes, exactly. I will be good next time, I will come next time, I will come to the training, I want to get out of drugs. And
Exactly, and I think that's what happened with her probably. He said, very nice things, and he gained her trust, or he said, you know what, there's a place I can buy you something, it's really near, just stay here, I'll be back in 5 minutes, and he just never came back.
I think he might have used the fact that he's working for Cut. Maybe he's saying that, yes, look, now I work for Cut, I'm responsible, you can give me your money, I'm trustworthy, so if the ladies are trusting me, why not you?
Exactly, and I think that's also why. So basically Jean-Paul always walks around with his little briefcase.
Like the file we gave him with his contract and his timesheet.
Yeah, which basically is useless now because we finished the contract, so he doesn't need any types of document. He justifies this by saying that if the police catches him, he has a justification of working for Cut, blah blah blah. But I think, as you were saying, it might be a way of showing that he's serious and he works with us. He's pretty much our equal, and if she can trust us and we're just researchers and he's a researcher, we don't know what they tell them, right? So it might be that he played that card and she just bought into it.
It's so fun. It's so amazing how many tricks they have under their sleeves, and I'm sure. I'm sure he can just like show